Stay a while and listen.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Podcuzz, a podcast which is it's sort of an assembly of individuals. Well, it's actually two. It's me and David, and we are cousins, and that's why the Podcuzz title
consists of cuzzes and pods.
Exactly.
We are cuzzing the pod.
Exactly.
We are podding the cuzz again, once again. Yes, so it's been a week. What happened? What were you up to?
What happened? Yeah, it's been a week. What happened? How did that happen? It's been another week, and it's been a short week actually, because I've been busy.
Busy?
Well, I've not really been busy, but
I've
been I've been busily entertaining myself, doing fun things.
Have you been consuming media again?
I've been consuming media. That's quite right. And we've been actually, you suggested this to me.
Did I?
We've been we got this this online game that we do where you can make your profile and sort of set up things. I'm not, it doesn't really matter like the whole platform or anything. It's not really significant. But what is important is how something like that, how these games, they can consume your time.
Yeah.
It's insane. I thought I'm gonna set up a little of this. I'll have a look into that. What, another 4 hours gone? I don't know how it happened. It's just insane.
Yeah. And what's important is that game. It's not very visually appealing, because you are just. It's basically just text and your inputs, clicks, and management.
It's really numbers and statistics,
exactly.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
And most of the time, you don't really get to do anything like actively, but as you said, 4 hours have passed and you're like, what? It's Sunday. There's nothing supposed to happen on Sunday. Maybe Wednesday or Saturday.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the inactive days in the game. Like it's an online football manager where you're like you have your entire organization. You have
it's the online football manager.
It is game. The online football manager game.
Everyone who knows it knows it, and everybody else. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you can just type that in Google and you'll figure it out. But those who know already know. However, and you're setting everything up, so you have to get the coaches and you can get a physical therapist.
Yeah,
and you can get doctors that make sure that your players heal more quickly. You got the sponsors and the management, the finances and everything.
Yeah,
and so you're looking at every single component of the soccer team the club that you are sort of that you own or manage.
Manage, own, you do everything basically.
Yeah, exactly. And so I got into this, and in the beginning when you're setting it up, you go a little here, a little there, and the week is out. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Because I've been on again. Actually, you brought me to play Hat Trick in the first place.
That's right, ages ago. And I started up about a year ago. I think it was 22. I think it was the end of 22 when I started again. Okay.
And I've been at it for a year, and barely a day that goes by without me logging in and changing anything teeny tiny here or there, or just sometimes just looking at the players and being like, I made you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You were nothing when I started to pick you up. Yeah, that's right. That's really crazy.
But it's a great feeling. I like this kind of eternal progress, or what would you say? Sustainable progress.
Yes.
Where you progress in a game and you can. The opposite of arcade games. You can come back to something that you are like a garden that you are building up.
Yes, and
it's always there.
Yes, and it's constantly growing, like it's continuously developing, and you're just making sure that the guidelines are set up and that the whole thing goes in the right direction. Yeah. It's incredible, yeah. And this has also been added to, while we're on the gaming sort of topic here, my PlayStation broke down.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And so I had to send it in, and they had to look at this and repair the damn thing. And
to be clear, sending it in means sending it to South Korea.
I'm not sure, because I think it wasn't though, because I thought so at first.
Okay.
But then it went to I think Basel.
Okay.
To Basel I sent it, and apparently they have a home base there as well. which kind of makes sense.
All right. Then.
To sort of make the repairs and the replacements in Switzerland.
Okay.
So that they maybe just do. Although I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. Maybe they delivered it back and forth. But it only was in the station like for 3 days or something. And if they had to ship it even further then and go all the way to China and then back, that would be even. I would assume it would take longer.
Yeah. Okay. Me too. But so how long was it gone then?
It was good. Well, you know, those things took quite some time because at first I had to like fill out all those like applications that you have to like declare what the damage is and all, and you get an etiquette to send it. Like they send you a sort of a pre-printed QR code which you stick on. You slam that on the package and you send it, and then the people who go beep will know where it's supposed to go. Okay. And that's yes. And so that I already had to wait. It took me like a week to fill out all those forms and stuff, and I didn't have everything on me when I was like doing some steps at work, and I couldn't finalize that email because I still had to look at the serial number or whatever. You know, it's all those details you have to cramp together. Yeah. Find my guarantee. Like I had. I almost lost the contract of the guarantee to even be able to repair it and all.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too common to having to send back your PS5.
It's true, yeah.
I mean, I never thought of it, but then I saw what you had to go through, and I was like, God damn, I'm lucky.
It's insane. It's insane, yeah. But it was a weird faulty thing that happened with the PlayStation. I think it must have been the wrong HDMI wire that I connected to the television, and that somehow fucked something. But I don't know how this can fuck up the system, because the guy on the phone said, why don't you just reset the PlayStation? And there's like a procedure you do. You turn it off, you press long and short, and then you wait until that light, and then when it blinks, you press again or whatever, you know. I don't really remember the procedure, but there's like a way
some sort of a technical...
reset.
Reset you can do. Okay.
Yeah, okay. And so I was trying to do that with that guy, and he said, all right, now you press the PlayStation button on the controller to turn it on, and it just blinked blue really quick. It just went blue for a nanosecond, and then it was over. It was out the light. And he was like, well, are you doing it? And I was like, yeah, I'm doing it, and now the blue thing should be starting to light up. I was like, well, it kind of did, but it kind of left again. He was like, well, what is that? And I was like, well... It just blinked for a second, and he was like, okay, so now you can unplug your PlayStation, put it in a box, and send it here. Because this one is broken.
That sucks.
And he said it has to be a damage in the motherboard, so it has to be like in the fundamental functioning
that's not
components.
Something you can do anything at home.
Yeah, no, there's no easy fix for that. And he said like if that happens, that's like the backup system. That means the basic system is fucked up.
That's the red circle of death for PlayStation.
Exactly. And I stood right in the middle there. And I was really pissed because it was like, it was flickering every 2 minutes or so.
Okay.
So you can't do a proper boss fight, or you can't do something big, like a big task.
Right, but you were able to boot it up to play a game?
Yes. It would just flicker, like it would have like pink and blue stripes going through every couple of seconds. But that would be just faint. That would be like a fragment of a second.
So that was still playable.
It was negligible. You could have said, "Oh fuck it, I'll just play it like that." But then it had like once every minute or once every 2 minutes, it will go black for like 5 seconds.
Okay.
And that's death. I mean, if you're fighting a boss or if you're like engaged in a serious quest, you can't have 5 seconds of.
On a new PlayStation, that's just a no-go.
It's unacceptable. Yes,
it
doesn't work.
Okay, so you sent it back.
Oh fuck me, dude. Yes.
You sent it to not Korea but Basel.
I sent it to Basel. I sent it to Sony. Yes.
And now you got it back.
Oh, that's gorgeous. They replaced it instantly. They realized there was something seriously broken with it. I assume they sort of recycled those parts that are still usable, but I'm not sure. I have no idea. Maybe they just toss it. I don't know. I don't know how Sony proceeds with those things, but they really took my needs as a customer. They really took those serious, and they really replied always really quick. They were always on point to make sure that we can do this as quick as possible.
So you are satisfied?
I'm very satisfied. Okay. Like I said, I mean, I don't really know how they do like the whole environmental aspects. I don't know how well they. Yeah. Which is also a desire of me as a customer.
Of course, yeah.
I have a standard in terms of what I expect them to do. But you know, that's something I can't follow up and whatever.
For your personal life, everything
exactly worked out. Yes, exactly. Just as an end user, I was absolutely satisfied. Okay, that they really took care of my gaming needs as quickly as they could. So yeah.
And now you have a new console.
I have a new console. They sent me a replacement machine. They put in a note which had it had the instructions the wrong way around, because apparently putting the CD in the wrong way also can cause damage to the system. Which is surprising, because it's a laser. It just reads, and if it can't identify, it should just read unidentifiable.
Did they tell you, like, does this fuck up the laser, or is it something
I'm not
else?
really sure what it was, but I figured that they put in that note so specifically. Made it seem like that was something that must have been wrong, because otherwise they didn't tell me anything about it. They just replaced it.
You just got
and I'd like to know, what did I do? Like, I would have liked some analysis and go like, don't do this anymore, and then you're safe.
Now you're paranoid about it, about anything that you could do wrong.
Exactly. I don't know what caused this whole disaster. And then they just put that note in that I should pay attention to put the CD in the right way around. And it seems to me like that must be of significance, because
probably.
Why would they put that extra note in there?
Right.
But ironically, on the note, it was the wrong way around. I googled it then. I watched on YouTube a couple of videos on how to insert a CD into a PlayStation 5. But it's very counterintuitive. Now, those of you who are laughing your ass off right now, I get it. Okay, it's cool. But like, if you have a console, if you had a console in the 90s and the early 2000s and the noughties, you would have assumed that you have to put the CD in with the reader on the bottom, like inside the box.
Towards the bigger part
exactly,
of the box, right.
Towards the bulk of the system, because the reader used to be a big thing to read those things.
Right.
Of course, they've already compressed those to nanomillimeters now, and now it's on the outside. So the shiny side of the CD points away from the whole body of the PlayStation.
And that's important for anyone who owns a PS5. The shiny part goes... how would you call it?
It sort of points to the wall and outside of the... Yeah, you point it away. And there's like a black sort of component in the middle. There's like a...
Yeah, the centerpiece.
Exactly. And that's where the picture's supposed to face. That's like where the title of the CD is on. Yeah. And the shiny bit, the reader, is towards the outside. Yes, going out. And yes, I know, it's still ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But
silly, but
apparently it's so important that people went before they had the issue and uploaded videos to YouTube depicting how to put CD.
That's right. There is an instruction, and I found like 10 videos within a snap. Like, I was just looking like, well, how is this? And it was like everybody was doing it wrong. Like, so many people were like, holy shit, I have this new console. It's not the way they used to be. That was fucking confusing.
I mean, I remember... I'm pretty sure I bought my PS5 with the new FIFA. It's not FIFA anymore. It's
I saw that.
EAFC, right? I'm not playing it, but it's
yes,
EAFC.
yeah. They've changed the name. Yes,
it's EAFC, and I'm pretty sure I put it in the wrong way the first time. I'm apparently just a lucky man that it didn't break my whole console.
No, but most people don't have a problem with that, because a lot of people said like, they even showed me tricks. Like, a lot of people then go further, because some people have done that. They put the CD in, it's the wrong way in, and it just usually spits it out again. And you put it in the right way. That's it. Problem solved.
Which is normal to be clear.
That's like how it's supposed to be, I think. And that's the common way, like, people solve that problem.
I'm pretty sure...
Sometimes the CD gets... What?
I'm pretty sure my radio in the 2000s did that already, but I'm not, I'm not criticizing Sony.
That's right, yeah. Figuring out that shit don't work, they should do that on their own. However, some people have put in the CDs the wrong way around, and it didn't recognize it, but so much so that it doesn't recognize that there's a CD in, or it just can't figure out how to get it out of the box again.
Okay.
The system itself.
So it's stuck.
It's stuck. But you can remove the lid. You can remove the cover up of the PlayStation on that side.
Okay.
Cautiously. And there's a screw there. And there's like one of those screws where you can put in, I think it's a slit, or I'm not sure. And you insert the screwdriver, and you just turn it. And while you turn it, you turn out the CD out of the slit. You like very mechanically force it out in a way.
Wait, but so before we give false advice to people, does that work with the insurance or a guarantee of the PS?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I would not go as far as to assume that. I don't know. Yeah, that's that you do that at your own risk.
Yeah,
that might be.
We are not liable.
Yes, exactly. Oh, good thing you mentioned that, by the way.
Yeah,
we got lawsuits coming in like from both sides.
Everybody wants us.
Of course, I don't know if this is within the warranty. I don't know if it's a warranted procedure. If they like sort of consider that to be a solution for people to try out.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that there are
It is
people who
possible.
figured this out. And
Okay.
it can work. I don't know if it should work. I don't know that.
Okay. But yeah, if you are experiencing any of these issues, do not quote us. Do not
Exactly.
refer to us. Just go.
And don't call us. We
Don't
don't
call
know
us.
the answers. We
We-
can't help you. You're on your own there.
Just use Google.
Yeah. But we would like to know about your experiences. If you've ever had some crazy shit like that happen. Yeah, let us know, and we'll check those things out. I have, by the way, had this before. My PlayStation 2, it dropped when I was 11 or 12.
Is that the same PS2 that you still have?
No.
different one. Okay.
It was back. That was the big one. We didn't have a PlayStation Slim at that time. The first
Okay.
PlayStation 2 was a big one. It was like the normal, the original.
I don't even think I was born then.
But I think
I'm not
it's
sure.
possible you weren't actually.
Wait,
possible.
you were?
That might
11?
have been. Yeah. Then you must have been 1 year old.
I was alive and kicking.
I'm not really sure actually how old I was specifically, but it was around about that
Okay.
time. And I remember because then, back in those days, controllers had wires.
Ooh.
And I was gaming and then the phone rang. And I put the controller next to me to the right. But the phone was also to the right. And I put the phone down and I was panicking because I heard the phone and I was like, has it been ringing for ages? I was an idiot. I knew it wasn't ringing.
You had headphones on or what?
No,
Oh,
no.
You were just...
No. I just heard the phone ring, and I just had this paranoid thing of when I hear a phone ring, I want to rush to pick it up in case it's very important or in case I'm missing something. So my focus was entirely on the phone ringing, and I was the only one at home. So that I placed the controller next to me, the wire was stretched to the PlayStation, and then I started running, and I ran into the wire. I dropped the controller, of course, but I also dropped the PlayStation out of the shelf. I pulled it out, and broke it too. But we sent it in. It was the same thing. They repaired it. Well, I think they sent us another one as well.
Yeah.
They replaced it.
I think
I
that's
think
pretty
that's standard
common.
procedure nowadays. Like, come on, let's face it. 21st century, we don't give a...
We're gonna replace it responsibly.
Yes.
That's what you meant to say, right?
Exactly. As long as you're happy, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Wait. I had something there.
True story.
So, were the PS2 cables? Do they not detach from the
Controllers?
PlayStation?
No.
They are.
Well, they would from the PlayStation, but if you yank it at an angle, which I did obviously because I pulled
obviously.
the wire to the side. I think if I would have pulled it straight, that would have easily unplugged it.
Yeah.
But even then, they hold well. Like it's kind of
Okay. It's not the same
You
as-
might pull out the PlayStation even then. But if you do that quickly, it's true. It was pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, you got unlucky.
Well, it was a bit idiotic too. Like I could have put the controller down on the left, and I would on the right, and I would have been safe. But I
True,
fucked it up.
but on the other hand, you were 11. I mean,
That's true.
We all do
That's true.
dumb shit when
happens,
we're 11.
But I definitely I made sure to keep up a reputation with my record in terms
true.
of breaking things.
You think they remembered you? It's the little guy.
Well, especially around my friends and my family, like everybody was reminding me of that.
Oh yeah.
Or the time you broke the PlayStation, do you remember?
Yeah, that's something that your siblings are gonna end every argument with.
Yeah.
Well, you might be right, but you fucking broke the PS2, so get the fuck out of here. Yeah,
No argument.
that's an argument. That's a discussion ender right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, since we're starting up so strong on gaming,
Yeah, we've totally been all about it now.
you just told me before that you have. How should I phrase this? You are not a huge fan of modern horror games.
Oh, that's right.
Is that right? I mean,
that's right.
You don't have to name any specific
No,
titles, but
I won't shame any titles because I think everybody go for your success and we don't want to. I really don't feel like this is a platform I want to use to sort of talk down on something or whatever.
and apparently it's working for these publishers. But
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
what do you
Which is cool.
think is going wrong in the horror genre?
Good question. Oh, that's a good one.
I mean-
Thank you. The way you've opened up this question, that really invited me to really go into detail. Like, what's the components that annoy me?
You seemed like you wanted to tell me more about it before, but I kind of stopped you because we were not recording.
That was smart, man. I get it now. Gosh, he's clever. Like with him, it's easy to keep a podcast running. Cool.
Yeah, but
So
What are
I
your
don't know
thoughts?
if you remember back in the days. I mean, I think we still played that when you were around, but the game is older than you. I think it was like 96, 97, something like that. Wolfenstein came out. The Castle of Wolfenstein.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think it was
Classic.
the original. I think the one I played was like Wolfenstein 2 or 3,
Okay.
where you had to infiltrate in well, okay, I think with all of those you had to infiltrate in Nazi camps and
Pretty
sort
sure.
of and what those games really had back in those days was like there was this dark vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It was completely not funny. There's nothing about the picture, the image you see is funny. It's just fucking scary.
Okay.
And these guys are out to kill you. And I think those games, they because they had limited resources and it was a huge effort to create a game, they were really conscious and like, should we put in something like funny or goofy, or shouldn't we do that? And I think they always came down on no, because the effort to make a game is so, like it takes us so much to do this. Let's do it real. Let's do it cool. Like keep it dark and gritty.
It was a very unnecessary risk to like
Exactly.
go off topic.
Yeah,
kind
because you might really have like you might and it's I do feel today even to me personally I find it quite distracting.
Okay.
If there's like something funny in it, I don't mind per se. I think it can be done in a cool style and in a good way, but usually I usually go with the more darker tone and with the simple sort of this fear factor.
Yes. You cannot get immersed as much if there is too much.
And I think if you look at that game, for instance, Wolfenstein, and I'm sure a lot of you who've already played this game and who know that from way back when, it was a really scary game, and like one pink cat would kill the whole game. It would totally annihilate the atmosphere, the whole vibe. And I was looking for a game that was sort of dark and gritty and like has that quality. But those games usually are very simple. That's like a game that's just 3 rooms and you have to run away from one ghost. Like this very simple mechanisms where you're like being chased and you kind of have to like do this.
Yeah, I think that's why Slenderman got big.
Oh, Slenderman, yeah, and I like that one. I like that one.
Yeah.
It's really cool, but it's not something I can play for 2 hours.
Exactly.
It's something I can play and I fucking hated it. I hated that fucking game. Like if I heard is it a melody? You hear something when he comes close. Breathing.
No, it's static sound.
Oh yeah! Yeah, right. Oh, fuck me. And I fucking hated it because you're faster if you look away from him.
Yeah.
So if you see him, you have to turn away and run.
Exactly.
And you're much more efficient if you stay that way. But then hearing him, I'm starting to go like, how close is he? And I want to look back.
And where is he?
And you do this over and over until his face is right in front of you. And I it's so simple. And I think the simplicity of it sort of fucks with me.
Yeah, I think
It kind of kills me.
that's also what made it popular and good. And but it's as you say, they are usually small games, and there's not a lot to experience in Slenderman. It's
you won't discover much in the rooms.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, they put in details and cobwebs and tables and stuff, but
it's fucking scary. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
of
And it
course.
totally, I think it totally serves its purpose. It's fucking crazy. And I thought when I started to play it, I thought like this is gonna be fun. Because this is too simple for me to be taking it seriously and to really get into it. But it took me like 2 games and I was like, holy fucking shit, I'm scared to launch this game
That's
again.
when they get you.
Absolutely.
You think, that's an indie game or something.
Yeah, but that was a good one. But it's like it's got a lot of clones. It's got a lot of like I don't know, the silent shadow, the whispering creep or whatever. You know, they got a lot of the model has really reached people.
Yeah,
and I can relate. I do get why that is so.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it was successful, easy to make, and what else do you need?
Absolutely. I mean, the formula is brilliant.
Right.
I think it's brilliant, and I think it's a formula that it's something you could sort of implement and sort of use in like bigger scale horror games to take that as a component.
Yeah.
Because there was this film, I don't remember what the name was. There's this film, I think it was...
Describe it.
Was it Silent Hill? But there was like an alarm in the night. It would come like every couple of hours or couple of days or something.
Pretty sure that's Silent Hill, yeah.
That must be Silent Hill. And then during that time it is fucking creepy and these monsters are about and you know, fuck, I heard the alarm. Okay, scary time.
Yeah.
And then after that you have gathering time, like calm. You can collect yourself and be like, okay, holy shit, what the fuck just happened, right?
Yeah. You know it's fine now, but you also always live with that.
Yeah, it could at any point it could come back to this alarm stage, and I think that's an element I like because it sort of changes my feeling about an environment where I'm like, it's not the environment that's unsettling, it's the time now. It's now being here
Yeah.
that scares. It's not the here at all.
And that's also interesting as to how you can experience the same place or the same place
absolutely,
in two
yeah.
very different ways. Which well, that's
crazy.
Funny because we were talking about gaming, and now you added Silent Hill, and I think what's funny about Silent Hill is it mimics to me the board game or card game, I don't know what you would call it, Werewolf or Mafia, because it's it's not that scary because it's just people sitting down.
Yeah.
But it's nighttime, someone dies, and then it's gathering time again.
Yes.
And you get to discuss.
That's right.
And there's very different ways you start to feel about people and their actions. I mean, I'm gonna be so distrustful of my brother or my girlfriend in that game. Just because I'm not gonna trust anyone right now.
Yeah.
And it makes you view not just places, because of course that's a game just played around a table. It makes you view people in a very different way, and that's kind of what I like, and what is an element that, as you said, could be used in horror movies and gaming, which is something what this game simulates very easily in real life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Yeah. And it's funny because that's true. I just thought of that while you were saying this, because it's like you have the two phases in Silent Hill, where in one where the zombies are coming and you're just running and your goal is to get away from the shit and just trying to sort of stay hidden or like get away. But then when it's over, you're trying to analyze what happened. What did I see? Did I miss? Like you're trying to put the clues together. And it's like at first, like in the scare phase, it's just getting data. It's just, I don't know, just registering what happens is already freaky.
But you can't process it.
You can't process. You're just trying to survive and get the most out of this. And then after you're like, okay, but what did just happen?
Yeah.
What was I meant to take from this? I think they've kind of gone with this element that just was something that just it hooks people. It sort of gets to you, this idea that there's like, I mean, it's the same in the real world. There's nighttime and daytime, and you view a place differently than you would like if you see it at night. There's like scary corners and there's like creepy places, and then at daytime it's a nice beautiful flowery.
I'm gonna fight you on that because I love nighttime. Night is so much better than day. I feel so peaceful at night. There's no people. There's at worst there's cats, and cats I don't care. Cats are fine.
Yeah.
I love it when I'm walking through my little hometown. There's nobody around. It's just me. Maybe I've got some music with me. I don't even need music. I only need music when there's people around. So I'm finally in a public area, and I feel very quiet. It's peaceful. I don't like big gatherings of people. Man.
Stop talking.
Okay, I know. I get that may have come across a little weird, but I prefer nighttime in cities. The woods, okay.
But that's funny though.
Why?
Because I'm the other way around. I feel like it's.
That's not normal.
No,
in
but
in the woods at night. You prefer the woods at night?
Yes.
What?
Yes, much more. I think the woods are the likelihood of running across a crazy dude in the woods is much more slim, because crazy people, they don't really hang around in woods because there's nothing too crazy to do out there. Well, there is, but it's kind of like there's.
But if you run into someone,
it's scary. But you don't run into someone in a wood, do you?
Don't.
At night, it's like there's no people around, and if they're sitting by a fire and they're, I don't know, just having a party or something. I'm more struggling with the city because there's because I think there's more like. But it depends on which city and the vibes. But there's there's some unsavory people on the streets at night where I'm like, those are the people. Like you said, at nighttime you're sort of more. You're more on your own. You're like more like there's nobody around, and I have that completely when I'm in a forest.
But the thing is true.
But the thing with me is also like I think with us as dudes, although it's a bit of an arrogant way to look at it from my perspective, because I'm not particularly strong or like capable.
Okay.
But I keep thinking to myself, well, the scariest thing that's around is me. You know,
like
it's
that.
like that's like
Yeah,
a way
I like
of sort
it.
of that's
No,
that's
I
a
like
mantra I have to keep myself from getting scared. It's like,
True.
how could they be freakier than I am?
I mean,
it's not very likely.
okay, that's true. I get it. I think statistically you're probably in the right, but to me, that doesn't change how I feel. I feel safer in the city at night, but I get that it's probably not true because we have had a few knife attacks in our city in the recent years, and obviously that's not gonna happen in the woods. But yeah.
The feeling. I think it's you just said that it's a different situation versus feeling. The
Exactly.
way you feel about it is maybe not exactly accurate, but it's still the way you feel in that or that situation. I guess
it's
that,
probably just because nothing has happened to me yet.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is like, I mean, I grew up on a farmhouse, like out in the in nowhere. I had like, if I had to go home at night after I was partying in the city or something, I always had to walk like 20 minutes through a forest.
Yeah.
And if you have to do that literally at night a lot, you get to a point where it's like you're more, I think you probably get used to what you get around, right? And you were grown up in the city more, like you were always in the city, so that's like your comfort zone. Makes sense.
I always had half an hour on my way home, and it was it was still part of the city, but it's so quiet there because there's no bars and no clubs on my way home.
Quiet.
So that's probably why I'm like, why I'm a bit more chill towards these
That's the
areas.
perfect vibe, like to be, exactly.
Because obviously, if it's nighttime, the areas where there are a lot of people are still, I still don't like them. Just because it's a lot of people, but that's a me problem.
No, but I'm not too good in huge crowds as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit... But with me, it's that thing that we've talked about this some other times, that sometimes I'm a bit depressed. I'm looking out into the world and I see people and I think, oh shit, you're here too. No, I don't want to take away those people's space, but I just think, couldn't you have been a bit smarter or a bit less destructive or a bit less dumb? I don't know, just somehow. Sometimes I stand in a huge group of people, and usually the people who gather together are not the smartest of the whole population, or not necessarily, right? And then you're standing there and you're looking around and you think like, oh my shit. Is that really like, is that an excerpt of our population?
Yeah.
Do we have so many people who are like that?
Yeah.
I find it a bit, it's scary is the wrong word, but I find it interesting. And it's with me, that's the reason why I'm not so good with crowds, because I'm not, I like dynamics, group dynamics.
Yeah,
I'm not against harmony and stuff like that, but sometimes there's these internal atmospheres that happen in crowds where I'm like, I don't know, it just seems like a bit...
But what I think is, these are usually the groups that you notice. To me, that's the biggest issue. There are a lot of groups that I probably have no issues with them, but that's the thing, because I have no issues with them, I'm not going to meet them. They're just in their own space, having their own fun, and the other people are in my space, and I do not like that.
No, I get that. Yeah.
And we're back.
Here we are. Okay, that was a quick break.
Podcuzz. That was, to you it was a quick break. To us it was a longer break.
Yeah, but we were talking about gaming, and we were talking about those different elements in games and how they're used and all. And I've just figured that since we've been talking about gaming now for quite some time now, actually.
Exactly.
I feel the need to underline what my favorite game is.
First of all, before we reveal the best game of all time, would you consider it a horror game? Because we were talking about horror games just before.
That's a good question.
I think, because the way I learned about it, it felt like a horror game, because I was like 6 or maybe 7.
Yes.
And that, at that time it felt pretty scary. But what do you think? I mean,
I think it depends a bit. It's a bit of a multi-layer thing. But I think we should introduce the game first to the people. So if you don't know, I personally feel that the best game that's ever existed so far, and it's a game I've been playing ever since I've first been introduced to it, in 2001, is Diablo 2: Lord of Destruction. There was an add-on. It was Diablo 2, 1999, I think, or 1998. It could be 1999. And then in 2001, the expansion pack was released. The Lord of Destruction was added, which put in runes, and you could buy mana, potions, and much more space in the inventory. and an extra act and
Extra
all.
act.
But it was really like completing the story. It really seems like when they made the game, they were sort of aiming to close it out like that.
I'm sure they knew they were gonna do a DLC.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it just stood the test of time. The whole randomization with the loot that drops, the whole the concept of the battle and the back and forth. But I have to go into that for a moment to answer your question about it being a horror game.
Yeah, because I'm still curious.
Because it's like eagle vision sort of.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking down on the player from very high up, and you have your skills sort of you're looking down onto the flat surface that you're walking around. And it's not really a common element. Like horror games usually, it doesn't really, like what I'm saying is like the reason it can't, or the reason you would say it's not a horror game is because it has no jump scare elements. There's no way, because you have this individual so small in the middle of the screen, and you can't have something jump out of a corner because you're like looking at it from way above.
Okay.
So it doesn't have those elements that are classic for horror games, like the jump scares.
Like a jump scare.
Yeah.
But, okay. But isn't the Smith a jump scare? I got jump scared by this dude like 20 times. I still get jump scared by
That's true, but it's more like a psychological scare. It's not the flickering of his appearance that scares you. It's more like knowing that the motherfucker's about and knowing that he knows where you are now that scares you.
And he's pretty quick for a big guy.
Yeah, the blacksmith. I think he's like in the first act is like I think it's the 5th quest out of 6. And then Andariel will follow after. I think it's the first one before Andariel.
I think that's possible.
But there's 2 blacksmiths. There's one in this Hephaestos. Hephaestos, his name is.
Hephaestos? Is it?
Hephaestos is the blacksmith in hell.
There's
one where you have to go to the smithy and destroy...
Okay, yeah.
Oh, spoilers, by the way, guys. If you haven't played this game yet and you want to get into it,
spoilers.
You could have done so since 1999. It's been out in 2001. So it could be a spoiler because you didn't know, but...
Spoiler alert for a 2001 game.
Yes, you haven't been trying real hard on that game, so you know.
Oh man, I was in Act 3.
I was just getting into this! No, I don't think that's as dangerous.
But there's actually a 3rd blacksmith. There's Griswold. Isn't he?
There's Griswold. He's a blacksmith.
Yeah.
That is actually true. I thought I was just going to have to fact check you, and I was just going to have to correct you. I thought I was just going to have to say, Dave, you're wrong there. But I did not.
Technically.
It's true, because in the... Griswold actually in the first game is the blacksmith you have in the village, and in Diablo 2 he comes back with a vengeance.
Yeah, for some reason.
He's pretty strong, though, because it's...
He's tanky, but he's...
I think he's tanky,
but he's slow,
and he's not alone. But he has quite a lot of people around him with bow and arrows, skeletons, and... but of course, he's like the 3rd quest. He's not hardcore... I wouldn't compare him to Mephisto or something like that.
No Mephisto, right.
Yeah.
Right. So why I remembered Griswold is you actually, last week, we talked about him. We talked about Diablo.
Yeah.
You got me back into it. And I played a class that I've never played before. So for everybody that still hasn't picked up the game, pause and go download Diablo 2. Resurrected is now the most commonly
the current
used version.
But most people play.
If you know about the classes, I've started to play as a Amazon, and I've never played the Amazon before.
No,
I'm playing
the Amazon
as a Boazon with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, I prefer that too.
And it works pretty
well.
Although
the spear Amazon, apparently you can get more damage out of that. There's like.
But I heard she's less safe.
She's less safe, exactly.
But
she does more damage. She has like I think it's what do you call it? Electricity. It's lightning. Lightning damage.
Lightning damage.
She has like these lightning spear throws, which are pretty good apparently.
Okay.
But I've only done bow and arrow so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And playing bow and arrow, Amazon, you really start to appreciate the mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
They are the Act 2 mercenaries. They're pretty strong. I mean, my man, he's called Khalan, which is funny.
Yes.
That's close to you.
Yes.
Khalan is a strong motherfucker. This guy is tanking all my damage.
Cool.
I just have to feed him potions and he will tank anything.
You're essentially your life
back.
is his life.
Yeah,
you're just living via this dude.
I'm just picking up the loot, which is essentially what Diablo 2 was.
Yeah,
about
that was like,
a lot.
Yeah, that was like one of the core reasons to even go into battle. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, next to the experience, of course, and the leveling up. But,
Right, but that's one of the more fun elements,
Absolutely.
which is what made it for me one of the greatest games in the world. I'm not saying the greatest game in
You
the world.
did not say the
I
greatest. But
did
you
not-
didn't say it wasn't the greatest
I'm not-
game, and we're gonna celebrate that and just know in the back of our minds that in theory he might have failed to specify that this was the best game, but it was one of the best games. Yes,
I think, yeah, that's something. By its game design, it's probably one of the most complete and intricate and rich in detail games. I'm just more addicted to other games. That's my issue.
Makes sense.
But I think it's to me that's one of the most well-rounded games, and the fact that they were never able to achieve that level of game making is what really makes it even more
unique.
what makes it more unique and approachable for me.
Yeah, it stands out with that. I think, and that's the thing. I mean, I think I'm not. Don't quote me now, but I think to this day of all the Diablo games, Diablo 2 is the most frequent played game. Even though there has been a Diablo 3 and there has been a Diablo 4, but both of these couldn't even hold a candle to what Diablo 2 did, and most people just fell back to playing that because it was just better.
I mean, that's very possible. The fun thing is, and we have been talking about horror games before, where you told us that you dislike these elements of funny or
yes,
these elements that can kill
comical elements.
Elements, exactly, that can kill the whole vibe of the game. And I think even though Diablo might not be a horror game, Diablo 2 does not have these elements.
Yes.
And Diablo 3 added some of these features. Like
Yeah.
The bigger you get, the more bright your armor gets.
Yes,
you get, like,
that's
these
right.
wings.
Yes. Oh, that's a good point you make. Yeah.
And I think it's not everything that's wrong with Diablo 3, but it's what really sets Diablo 2 apart from its successors.
Yes, that's true. They've been starting to clown around a bit.
Yeah.
In an area which kind of like it was feeding off of being pretty gritty and serious. Like it's also a game where this is not funny. You're not gonna play this game and have a laugh. I think, but that's something that that's the direction it went to though, because Diablo 1 had much more comical elements or like more sort of weird things that were a bit unique and sort of like funny. You could like.
I never played it, but I've seen clips of the drunk guy.
Yeah,
It's kind of
exactly.
funny.
Yeah, exactly. And there's like enemies, like goblins that are silly. You know, they're like, help me this. You must be coming, and what? Like they kind of like, and it's kind of like it's almost like a bit goofy. It's a bit,
at times.
yeah.
Right.
And so they kind of came into his own. I think Diablo 2 started to take itself a little more serious than Diablo 1. Although I have to say, like, I want to say, for considering the time it was developed in and the degree it was already pretty well rounded as a game in Diablo 1.
Yeah.
That's why it had enough success to even get a Diablo 2 to come out.
Sure.
But it was like at Diablo 2, they started to peak. That's like where they had their run.
I mean,
and, yeah.
if you publish the best game in the world, you probably are peaking
That's
right now.
exactly. Well said. Said. I wanted to now quickly do a little side circle on your favorite games. Well, I know that Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, is, in your opinion, one of the greatest games ever. Quite possibly. We have not really established that yet, but potentially, in theory, hypothetically speaking, could be, even in your opinion, the very best game in the world, which is something you've not taken any position to, and please don't. I like that idea. But what other games are you saying? Like, you just said that there are games that take you in more.
Yes.
So what's going on with you in the gaming?
So I think there's layers to what I consider my favorite game, because there's the overarching layer, which is hat-trick, because it takes up so much of my energy and my time each day, just because I'm spending I'm spending a second life in that game. It's really like one of these real time games that you are just so invested in that you feel it in real life. Like there's I should be at my game.
That's true. And exactly as you said, we have a game now.
Yeah, we have a game.
We are playing now. We are trying to win this.
True.
And it's like you get your like you got so many stakes in. Like you really want to get your team to succeed.
Yeah.
And it's incredible because I think Hat-Trick is a good example because it's just oh, by the way, now we name dropped it. Hat-Trick is the name of the game. And the fun thing about that is it is very, very basic. It's numbers and it's just it doesn't have huge animations. It doesn't really have any great effect. It's not colorful. It's not really sparkly or something. It's essentially just the numbers. And you're just analyzing.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like there's a player, he has 700 TSI this week, he has 750 next week, and I think to myself, oh, he's improved, he's played, he's been doing good exercise and shit. Although it's just a number. It's just a number on a screen.
A number attached to a name.
It's incredible.
And each week you stack the number, you add a little bit to your numbers and you feel like you've done something.
Exactly.
It really feels like an achievement.
Absolutely.
So that's my overarching...
and I also like they're really differential. Like if a player gets hurt, for instance, like if they have an accident, they're like out. They have to leave the game, obviously, and another replacement player has to come in. But then maybe the next game they're gonna be able to play again, but they're wounded and they're like sort of slightly they're playing a bit more defensive and they're a bit more vulnerable. They're more susceptible to other injuries.
Yeah.
And then it says like, you know, his left ankle is still kind of bruised and he can play, but he has to be careful.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think that because you're thinking like, oh, that player is going to get better. Go feel better, champ. Although it's like, fuck, what am I talking about? It's a number.
You feel bad for him.
Yeah.
For who?
You feel bad for him because of his left ankle. Although, what the fuck?
And then you can turn on the X-ray and where is he hurt?
I think it's good. I think it's good. I think it's a good point you make there that the true gameplay, like the things that make you stick with a game and the things that make a game sort of take a hold of you are not the things that seem shiny at first and seem great. Because often games look great and you think, oh, I have to definitely play this, and you play it for an hour or two and you're like, well, that was alright at most.
Yeah. You got some endorphin kicks out of tapping something or clicking something, and that's the exact opposite of what Hat-Trick is. Because Hat-Trick, they don't give you that kick in the moment, but you are really feeling something when you are online, but also when you are offline, because it always
it's always with you.
It's always with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to make a training plan or something similar.
Same here. Yeah. I get that stuff thinking, that I'm like starting to look at next measures that I have to take into play and to kind of figure out how I'm going to deal with this and that. And, and it's really probably also because it's so simple, it really leaves it open to you how deeply you involve yourself into it, and like the pictures, like the stuff you see in the back of your head. Like I have this thing when a game is playing, right? And it's like, and there's like, the guy missed the goal. Like, I'm getting annoyed. I have this moment of, shit.
Yeah.
Why did you miss? It was right there. He should have just put it in. Yes, but there's no game. It's just the sentence on the page.
They just evaluated the numbers and they said, no goal. And but they put a little text that says, he hit the post. And I'm like,
almost did it.
Get it in there. Yeah, exactly. It really messes with you. But that's what I like. It feels so real.
Oh, it's so silly and it's so crazy to realize how much is happening in our heads at any given time. Like this is just stuff that you yourself are developing in your head and you think about that. But it's really cool, and I think it's like it's also a game you can play it kind of casual. I know of people who played it and they were just having an account and they were going once a week. They checked on their details and everything. And then there are other people who are really into this, and they're really it's like constantly in the back of their mind. I have to think about what I'm going to do about that problem. How am I going to solve this?
Yeah, I've heard the saying that Hat-Trick is an internet forum with a football game attached to it, instead of the other way around. Because there's people that really build communities and
that's true. Yeah,
exchange knowledge in these spaces, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Even though I'm more of a quiet player myself.
Yeah, me too. I'm more passive in observation.
Right.
But my stakes are I'm totally involved.
Exactly.
In that, yeah.
And you profit from the other people using the forums because I've used some of their research they've done. Yeah.
You get a lot of information about it, and it's hugely complex. It's some things are all practically impossible for you to figure out on your own.
Mm-hmm.
It's like also like the form of the players. They have gradual tendencies. It's either like increasing slowly or decreasing slowly.
Yes.
But there are components about a player that you have no power over.
Yeah, exactly.
And like if you don't know that, you keep asking yourself like, what am I doing wrong? I'm trying to get this guy to play well. But then once you know that there are certain stats you have to pay close attention to because they might change on their own and there's nothing you can do to change that. And then you have to realize, oh shit, I have to let go of this player now. We have to get out.
Yeah.
This is a bad investment. Yeah.
It's things that make complete sense, as in their loyalty to the club or their age, and corresponding with the age is their condition, their stamina, and their form.
I think it has an effect on the likelihood of getting hurt as well and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. And of ever recovering again.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
How far they can come back up once they dropped. Yeah.
Right. The second game is Legends of Runeterra. I've told you about it. It's the card game equivalent of League of Legends because it got me out of being addicted to League of Legends. League of Legends is anyone who knows it knows what it is.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's an addicting game, and it's got the worst fan base in the world.
Oh, really?
You get.
They hate you. I heard that.
They hate each other. They hate you. You can do anything slightly
Shaming
wrong.
is a common thing. Yeah.
You can even do everything correct, and you'll get 4 people wishing you cancer. Maybe even the opposing
stuff
team.
like that. Yeah.
It's It's legit horrible.
Actually, it's funny that you should say that because I've been listening to the podcast of The Friendship Onion of Billy Boyd and Don Monahan, the 2 guys who played the Hobbits, Merry and Pippin.
Right.
That's right. And they talked about it. They played League of Legends a lot together, yeah. And they wanted to do so with Frodo and Sam, so they have like the 4 Hobbits playing that, but they never got that going because Frodo, like Elijah Wood or Sean Austin were always like, well, I'll have a look at it. I'll get back to you in a month or so.
And you won't get into League.
But they were playing, and Billy Boyd said like the dude was like begging him, and he was like, please stop playing this game.
Yes.
And he was that's so rude. That's so rude. It's like such a mean thing to say to somebody. But he was just like, dude, you'll never learn this. You'll never pick it up.
Yes.
At the rate you're going, no, you'll be 300 years old when you're competitive.
Right.
And he was just like doing that. Yeah. But I don't really like that so much. I think it's a shame that people are so like rude. Of course, it's sort of comical because it's in the gaming world, so they're not literally. It's like they're offending your like skills to handle an avatar or whatever.
Right.
It's that's a sort of one of those comedic trolling things where it's like you're meant to be able to troll in this universe, and it's okay if some people do it. Fuck it, you know. I don't want to make a bigger deal out of this, but I think it's just an odd thing for it to develop to become so destructive, as opposed to saying like, hey, let me help you, give you some advice. Because I had that with StarCraft 2. I played StarCraft 2 for a long time, which is also like an arena game where you're like kind of playing these. There are similarities. And a lot of people in StarCraft 2 were like, dude, you seem to struggle for real. Like, do you know about these and those shortcuts? And it was like instantly like, let me help you.
Yeah.
Let me help you how you do this. And I've always loved this. I've always loved this.
And it's your opponent telling you.
Exactly. It's the guy who's actually been shredding me and the guy we're playing against. And he's like, no, I want to give you a fair shot at this. I want to make you make the most of the experience. And I think that's a pretty interesting...
Yeah.
Like, it's an interesting contrast because you would imagine it to be either neutral or constructive or maybe the other. But some games have that and others have this. It's odd.
Well, League is very special in that view, but I'm pretty sure it also it's related to the fact that you have teammates.
Yeah.
Teammates that you will never meet in real life.
Your backup, yeah.
And that you might not meet ever again. And that's why your teammates are usually the ones that blame you the most or that shit talk you the most.
I got it the wrong way around. So you're like rude to the guy you're playing with because this loser is supposed to play good, so you are good.
Right.
Yeah.
So other people are they are not strong enough to win the game themselves, and then they start blaming everybody else because it's hard to take responsibility, and that's true. That's true for everyone.
Yeah.
It's hard to take responsibility. So it's easier to blame everybody else, especially if you don't know them, if you've never met them.
Interesting.
And if
makes
you
sense.
never meet them
Makes
again.
sense. So it's more like a protective thing of themselves
Of
as
their
opposed to attacking
ego.
somebody else. It's like taking the focus off of them by saying
Right.
you're a freaking loser because no.
Exactly.
You're the loser.
And that's why these people are usually worse in their rank, because it's not a healthy way to improve.
Yeah, definitely.
If you look at a team game like this, then you will probably.
Well, the thing is, you'll never benefit from the knowledge of the others. Like
Exactly.
if you call them out and you say, yeah, you play shit, then you're obviously not interested in what I know about the game. And even if I play worse than you, there might be still like one shortcut or trick you could learn from me, but you never will if you say that I'm completely incapable and I should never play this again and hopefully I die tomorrow.
But we've gotten off topic because I deliberately don't.
That was your
play
favorite
League
game
of Legends
too?
anymore.
You now play
Legends of Runeterra.
Legends of... How is the last word spelled? Is it...
Runeterra.
Runeterra.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's
okay.
the Rune Earth,
yes,
basically,
okay.
which is the world of
Rune
League of
planet,
Legends,
so to speak.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
And it's a card game. It's very laid back. Your opponent has no way of communicating with you other than stickers.
Yes.
These little cute
These
stickers that you can send each other.
It's like a thumbs up, thumbs down sort of
Exactly.
speak. Yeah.
So you can be kind of toxic, but you don't get the same toxic as toxicity as you get in League of Legends. And it used to be very balanced. So they did PvP balancing. Most people played ranked, player versus player, and they balanced all the cards around competitive play.
Yes.
And they did 3 world championships, I think. But, and that's an issue I have with most of the modern gaming world, it wasn't financially sustainable.
Yeah.
Because they gave out the cards way too easily. You didn't have to buy card packs. You just got them, which is great.
Then you don't pay them any money.
But you don't
they
pay
don't
money.
really make any profits off of that.
Right.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Genuinely, I think genuinely these free games or like offering games for free required for game developers to like find a new source of income, which is kind of tricky because games is what we do, and you don't pay me anything unless you can already play it, which is like requiring me to throw it out there for free.
Yeah.
I think that's a problem. Yeah. And it also I think the execution suffers under it as well.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's like, well, and we got the name and it's already running and the kids are gonna buy the skins anyway, so fuck it, we're done. And it's just
and it's just visual updates which cost money, and that's that's not really what I
that's true. Yeah, that's not really what you
games.
do. Yeah. Well, the thing with me is like, if anything, it has a negative effect because I'm like with the skins. I like when I play games, like when I play Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction. I play that game because I want to find better gear. I want to make my character look cool, and the greater you sort of upgrade him, the cooler he looks.
Right.
And like the one who looks the coolest, you could like that's the guy I have to ask like, what did you do?
Yeah.
How did you do it? And how did you gather those items and all? But today, like, the more impressive a guy looks in a game, the more likely he's rich.
Yes.
But that's not something that I don't admire rich people per se. That's just not an achievement in my opinion. And so I don't really think it's cool to look cool just for the sake of looking cool. I want to look cool because I found those gear, because I played hours and I really invested time to figure this game out. And that's why my armor looks better than yours.
Yeah.
And it sort of annihilates my desire to search the coolest armor if the the 10 times cooler one with shiny effects and everything is the one the other guy bought for $5.
Yeah. And like, you could just have it as well.
Yeah, and I could just get it like level 3. I could have the hardest gear. It's like, what?
So if even that gear seems so easy to get, then the other gear is even worse to get.
Yeah, it's like, why am I such an idiot to go for the bronze one when you already have the golden one, glittery and shiny? Yeah.
True.
So those are things like, that's one component about the gaming today that I think sort of yeah, it's kind of suffering under those elements. Yeah.
What they did with Legends of Runeterra is they're shifting their focus now away from PvP.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say as well. Is about the games today that I hate is that the point that you're addressing now is about the change. And like with those, you've got to be online to even play games. You're totally dependent on the game company. Like they got us by the balls. If they shut down the servers today, nobody plays this game today.
Right.
I have Diablo 2. I have the hard copy here. I've got the CD. I can throw that in my computer, and I can play that in 50 years. I can play that at any time.
You're lucky that didn't exist back with Diablo 2. Because
if
that existed
they
back
would have
then,
messed it up so terribly.
it would
like
be
if that
so
came
dead.
out today, and that's the thing. That's like why it's so tricky for a game like that to come out again nowadays. Is because it's gonna get run over by those pay-to-win elements and all those, all those like elements that it suffers from, given the fact that it has to be free and all those things. So yeah, I think that's something where the development of games. But like a friend of mine pointed it out, and I think he's right. Like if you want to see a good game today, you have to look at independent, like indie games. And then you come to things like Slender Man, who have this awesome element, which is really like it's like a game changer, literally.
Really,
like, it was fucking crazy.
That's true.
And you get to these elements, but you never have the guy who came up with that concept come together with the guy who does the designs, and it's no longer this immersive process of different directions that game makers come together from. It's more like, I'll throw my element out there, and I hope I get enough tension to sort of get off the ground. But it's a shame, because you give it away, and it would have been worth something like, I would pay for a good game with those elements in.
Yes, but most game companies probably they're so sure that they're gonna get these elements from somewhere, because they're popping up everywhere.
Somebody's gonna pay it, and that's the thing. Like you always have, and even if it's just the kids, and I think it's really rude because you get like if when I was 12, I was much more impressionable, and my mom bought things she already knew that's shit, and she's like, "Dude, you're not gonna need this. This is not a good edition. I need this now." We bought it. I played it for an hour, and I didn't like it anymore.
Yeah,
it's like that classic element, and now suddenly it seems like, given the fact that sort of the wealth increases in the more established countries, like in the Western civilization, like those countries who are like having financial stability, they get more solid, and those who are like struggling, they struggle more.
Yeah,
this does nothing to my point, but that's just part of the whole cake.
But that's important for gaming, advertising and such, because you are just advertising to rich people, basically.
That's right. And it's only those people, and those people, they have more loose cash now. Like than my parents, and like if you go back one generation, you will realize that was good. You will realize that people live differently. They have to be more cautious with their investments. Today you can try something and see if it works. If it's nothing, well, money thrown out. But never mind.
Was just
you get
$20.
some more. There's more where that came from. And I think that's also the reason why games can now thrive off of the element of 11 to 13-year-old kids just wanting to buy what's new and what's cool right now. And parents not knowing and just saying, well, let's spend it and see whether it's something.
Yeah, it's just gonna be $20, so we're not too hard about it.
And the skin's even less. I mean, something you get for $5, and the mother thinks, well, I'm glad I only have to pay $5 to get my kid.
And he's gonna be in his room for 1 hour.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a win-win. So yeah, I think that's something where the gaming, like the industry, the companies themselves and the employees, they suffer. The consumers and like the people who are actually receiving those games, they suffer too.
Yes,
it's a bad.
But they don't realize
the back end. Yeah, that's true.
They're probably not going to realize this.
Yeah, probably. I mean, just keep looking. Yeah.
And there have been more reports of game developers or animators and writers who are under severe time pressure. With limited
crunch time doesn't end anymore.
Exactly.
That's like that thing they came
and getting shortened deadlines and having to deliver on certain dates which are basically impossible. I think the musician of the newest Doom soundtrack came out with a huge whistleblower story on that studio. I'm
Makes
not
sense.
too sure about it, but I think there was something.
No, it makes sense. It's yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter what specific. It's a genuine problem in the market. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's always crunch time because
True.
next month we're gonna redesign the whole world, and I need you guys to start doing this right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no time where they're not having pressing matters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing I think as a company, if you release a good game
Mm-hmm.
and you say, okay, it costs you $80, it costs you $100 to play this game, but it's a good game, and they get it out. They have the crunch time where they really have to make sure that everything is
Yeah.
set in place and all good so we can go. But when the go happens, it gives you a moment to sort of relax and like to recover and be like, okay, let's now develop the add-ons or whatever, you
Yeah.
know. And then you have like these serious times where you're like, okay, now it's stressful, now it's relaxed.
Right.
Now it's stressful, now it's relaxed.
Like Silent Hill.
Exactly. But I think as a
Yeah.
game developer, you're glad to have these moments
Right,
of sort of...
right.
And just gathering data, I was like, we do something and we see what people do with it. Mm-hmm. And then we do something according to that, and then we see how people respond
Right.
to that. Yeah.
And there's an something in addition to that recent AAA games have been suffering under. I think Cyberpunk was one of it. No Man's Sky, just releasing games too early, and then patching it up
Yes,
afterwards.
yes.
Which is, I mean, of course there are issues involved. The games were not ready. They should have delayed the games, but there is an expectancy of these publishers to get the game out way too quickly, and then we'll just patch it up. We'll fix it in post, basically,
And then get that buggy shit out there.
yeah, which is apparently totally acceptable.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And then you get that buggy shit out there that's gonna break your entire fucking box to play it on. Like it's
Yeah.
gonna fuck up your entire system and
True.
stuff because they just didn't really take care of all the components. And couldn't, you know, you can't even blame them for it. And I think that's the
Right.
problem. It's like a both-sided problem. The consumer's not to blame because I have to buy a game. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's all you offer.
Do you have to buy it?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
you want to buy a game.
I
No,
could
that's-
say I got the good one. I got Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction. I could play
Right.
that for the rest of my
Right.
life. But
No, but it's completely
if I want to like
reasonable.
try out new stuff and all, I have to buy something. And if that's all you're offering, that's all I can invest in.
Yeah, completely.
And they don't have a choice because that's the only thing that is it sort of became this, it sort of derailed. It sort of got off the rails and just went fucking somewhere. And now we're all in the forests going like, I found a chair. What the fuck is going on out here? Like, what are we doing? What's this?
Yeah, and nobody's happy with it, but we're all going on with it because it's what makes the
Nobody
market.
has a choice. Everybody's forced due to the others
Yeah.
doing that to do the
Right.
same, and it's a serious problem. And I think it's a sad development because it didn't have to be that way. I think it wouldn't have had to be that way. But it's this thing. I felt it came with the acceptance of living online, having my characters, my entire sort of setup is on the server of the company.
Okay.
And the first ones to do that I consciously perceived were World of Warcraft, where you had to pay a monthly fee.
Which is Blizzard, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You had to pay a monthly fee. You couldn't even go online if you didn't pay every month. And they sort of kept their players going by saying, well, if you want to go into this world, you're going to have to pay right now, whatever, you know, like these fees. The problem that I feel sort of that sort of arose there was that I could no longer claim to own a game. I could no longer say, hey, this is my game and it doesn't play. I'm complaining. I'm calling you guys. Why doesn't it work?
I get what you mean, yeah.
It suddenly
Continue.
became totally legit to sell me something that only works for this period of time, and then afterwards it won't work, and that's fine. And I was shocked at that. I thought this model is never going to survive. I thought these guys are destined to fail because they've come up with a concept that forces players to never reliably hold their games in their hands. Like you can't rely on that copy. And I thought it was never going to work. But World of Warcraft was a huge success, as you know. And it sort of took over the market. And that gaming model from then on was a standard. It was a kind. And then it was a side genre. It was like some games did that. Some risky companies invested in saying, like, we get you to continuously pay. And they knew it was risky, but if we get a good game out, we can make that last.
Yes.
But sort of slowly the focus shifted of the market to this only. And now it's only that. You cannot play a game without being online. And nowadays my entire PlayStation requires me to online. to be online.
Yeah.
I can't play my PlayStation 5. I can't just insert a game and just play it without having been online.
Yes, that's why.
Why?
That's why. For the first time ever, I started a single player character in Diablo 2.
Mm-hmm.
My Bozon is a single player character because I'm not paying for the PlayStation subscription anymore.
Yeah. And why would you? Yeah.
And now I'm not able to play online games because
it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
But like, how much is that though?
The basic package would be only like $9 or $8.
Something like that. Yeah.
So it wouldn't be that bad, but
yeah, but it's just that thing. I mean, I have that with the music stuff. I can't pay an app constantly for music. I need my music.
Right, you're still using iTunes. I like
still
it
use iTunes.
I like it though.
To this fucking day, yeah.
But
I don't have the stuff on my phone now because my phone is upgraded. Like I lost the phone. Like I broke it once and I had to get a new one.
Wait, how
and then the basic system on it was, well, I have an insurance on the phone, right?
But how are you still using iTunes on your phone?
On my phone, I'm using Apple Music.
Ah, okay.
But I buy albums then.
Right.
And I just buy them. I load them onto my.
You don't
iPhone.
pay for streaming.
No, I don't. I don't want to have because I don't want all the music. Because the thing, like the argument behind it was, they were like, "Hey, give us $5 a month. We'll give you all the music there is." Now, all the music there is contains 99% of music that I really don't like to listen to. I like genres. I like practically any genre. I think there's good music. There's good rock. There's good hip hop. There's anything. There's good music everywhere. But I select my artists very specifically. I like this one and I like that one. And the last thing I want is for my music to shuffle through and play me some musician that I would never listen to. And then suddenly I have a song of Robbie Williams because he has a ballad, and I listen to a ballad from, I don't know, like from Elton John. Then I'm like, dude, I like Elton John. I don't like Robbie Williams. I'm not sure that would happen. That's a stupid example, but you get the core problem.
Right.
That I really have some music. I don't want people to think like, oh, he also listens to that. Oh, I heard it. He played it the last week. I have my music, and then the stuff I play, I consciously played it.
So, yes, but what I mean, yeah, that makes sense. That's kind of my idea about how I listen to music as well, or how I organize my music. But I just like to be able to find new music inside my streaming app, which is harder when you buy single albums.
No, of course.
Can you listen? Can you do like test listen?
You can sample listen. You can listen from every song. I think you can listen to 30 seconds or so. You can listen to.
Okay.
It's fairly decent. It's a decent bit. But the thing is that with me, it's just to me, that's true. I don't look for music in the place I have my music. I look for it out there, and when I like it, I put it onto my hard drive, like onto my...
Which mostly works probably for me as well. I mean, most of the music, I don't find it on Spotify. I find most of my music on YouTube.
I got it a lot,
just outside.
Or
the
movies,
outside.
or you just watch a movie and there's a fun tune in the back and you're like, what was that track? That was pretty
Shazam
cool.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But while being on this topic and regarding the time where it has went, because it's pretty late. For those who do not know, last time we did a playlist. We opened the playlist.
That's right. We started
and you aptly named it Apocalyst. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
That's what you said. The Apocalyst.
That's right.
Because the theme last time was if you saw the asteroid that will destroy Earth, hitting Earth in about 6 minutes.
That was the scenario last week.
Right. Which song would you take? And we took completely different routes. I've listened to a song for Bob now by Nick Cave and Warren Ellis, and I like it. I like where you went with your idea. And it's funny because last time you were laughing because I put in Accidentally in Love by Counting Crows.
Which I think is a perfect pick. Like, this is a gorgeous selection of song. I love that song. I really do. And I very consciously, I picked that out of the film Shrek 2 as well, because it just lingered with me.
Yes.
Because it was such a good, feel-good and positive song. And mine is such a depressed atmosphere.
But it's the two modes, the two ways you can feel about the asteroid hitting.
Absolutely. I mean, but it's both is totally legit. Yeah, I loved it.
They're both fine.
We had completely different approach at the same thing, and that was really fun.
When I listened it, I think it was the next or it was the next day, I think, on Sunday, just curing out my hangover. I think I listened to it and I was like, yeah, that kind of goes hard.
It's cool. It's kind of hidden. The jewel in that song of Song for Bob.
Yes.
It's kind of concealed. The first you're like, what? That's just a couple of tunes hanging around. But there's something very symmetrical, or like what would you call it?
And
harmonic.
And it starts coming together more and more because
yeah.
it's a pretty long song.
It's always elements that are being introduced
Right.
after a couple of run-throughs. It comes with the next one, and it's really addictive to me. Like once you get into that rhythm, yeah.
But that was last time.
That was last time, yes.
And this time I set this up, but I forgot about it. I deliberately forgot about it, which is hard to do.
How did you? I do that sometimes as well, though. It's funny though.
I remember I wrote it up on Monday. I think today is Sunday.
Yes.
I wrote it up on Monday, and I was like, I shouldn't remember what song to put on the playlist, and I didn't. I don't remember what I wrote here. So I wrote down, what if you could only listen to one song for the rest of your life, either this song or nothing. You can't hear other music.
Yes. Okay. So I can listen to it as many times as I want. I can.
And I think unfortunately I kind of remember, but I had no specific song in mind, so I have to search for one.
No, but that's fine. I mean, even if you had one in mind, that's cool.
I don't. But if there is music playing, in a bar, or
it will always be.
Anywhere, it will be the song you choose.
That fucking song.
Or no. Or
for
not.
the rest of my life.
Exactly.
Like that's gonna be. Oh gosh, I was gonna go with a really catchy tune this week, but if it's like, if I'm not, no, it's something that
rough.
I thought I was gonna take something that's pretty like easygoing or whatever, you know, to sort of counterbalance the last one I did. But then if you put it in this context, and it's not about the apocalypse in the sense I'm going to die,
no,
I will live my life out.
You,
I live like for another fucking 50 years.
Maybe you're gonna kill yourself, but I mean.
No, but yeah, but essentially like, so as long as I'm around, everything works perfectly fine.
Yeah, right.
But this is the song.
You're always gonna have I'm blue, da ba dee da.
Gosh. Like now you can choose what you're gonna kill yourself with.
Yeah, I mean,
you're gonna hate yourself for whatever you pick. Fuck, man.
Do you have any like ideas? Like, talk me through it.
I have to think. I want to take something that's like cool, because like you said, in a bar, and it's like a place where I hear a lot of music is where there are people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably a song you have to be able to dance to, or like something that's kind of a bit more upbeat, because it's gonna linger. It's not just this moment
You'll
of
have to
destruction. It's like this is the rest of your life.
Yeah, you have to listen to this when you're out partying.
To listen to this when I'm out partying.
Yeah,
that's very crazy.
The thing that I thought is thought about is last time, or I think privately, we talked about Bohemian Rhapsody. Mm-hmm. Which I don't like, because it's 4 songs in one song, which shouldn't be.
I like it because of that.
But it's a hack.
It's a good choice for this point, because you have different songs to listen to.
But
it's a playlist, a small one.
It's a small
4
playlist.
songs.
Oh, I can listen to 4 songs.
Fair enough.
I don't think I would pick that, because I
don't think I would do so either. Either, no. Yeah.
I'm not. I've not warmed up to the song yet.
Well, the thing is it's also something I feel it has to be. You have to be able to play that in the back. It's not something that can take in your entire mind when you're listening to it.
Yeah.
It should be something that's compatible with a good talk by the fire. And if you have Bohemian Rhapsody going,
Mamma Mia,
it's distracting the shit out of you. Like, what were you talking about? Like, I was just, because I love Bohemian Rhapsody, but if I listen to it, I have to listen to it. True. I can't just, I don't know, write something down and have that play in the back. That will be fucking my head.
Yeah, it's too predominant for that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that was too hard.
But is that the song you would go with?
No, not at all. I'm still looking. I don't think I can have vocals for the rest of my life.
I was actually thinking that too. Yeah, it's tricky.
But
I was gonna go with Britney, but
it's Britney, bitch.
But it's a bit like it's gonna be. It was repetitive back in the days when those songs were on the radio. And if I choose a song like that now, if Hit Me Baby One More Time is the only song I'm gonna hear forever. I love to hear that song. By the way, I have to say, I really love Britney. I think she's done amazing music, and I really think she's a cool artist. I really admire her work, but it's difficult to listen to like one song and just have that. I can't imagine going. Well, if the one that's most compatible, I guess, would be Toxic, because it's sort of also just a beat and something that you could play in the back. So it's sort of like
just put it on. Just lower the volume and have it.
Yeah, exactly. And you can have a conversation about something else while it's playing.
True.
But no, I can't go with Britney in this instant. I think because I have to listen to the song forever. I think. Do you already have a? Do you have a song?
I have a candidate.
I have a candidate as well, and I'm gonna go with it. Fuck it, I'll go with it. I'll go with Blood Rave, New Order, Confusion. The song is from Blade. It's Blade soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's the disco track that plays in the first Blade in the very beginning.
Drunken Masters are also somehow participating in this.
Drunken Masters, it's possible. It's an older song.
I mean, on Spotify, it just has 2 artists here.
I'm not sure. Actually, I was just googling it now because I couldn't tell you the person who wrote the artist, whatever. Blood Rave has become one of the most iconic opening mirror scenes recently in memory. But can you? I think it should be findable on Blood Rave, and it's 1998. Wait, I'll just go into the soundtrack. I'll look at the score.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I mean, just buy me some time here.
Exactly. So this song is, now really we get to the problem that I'm bad at sort of looking up shit. But it's called Confusion, Pump Panel Reconstruction, and it's from New Order.
Wait, did you just switch?
No, it is that.
Aha. So I put the wrong one first.
I don't know. It's.
What's your song again?
I thought it was Blood Rave. Yeah, Blood Rave was the name of it, but it's Confusion. Now I'm really gonna dig this up. Confusion is the name of the song. Pump Panel Reconstruction.
Pump Panel. Yeah. The rest of New Order.
Yes, New Order.
Confusion Pump Panel Reconstruction Mix. Wow. 31 million streams. Damn.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay.
I think it is.
I need to listen to that.
I'll go with it. Well, that thing came out, 1986? And Blade came out in 19... Wait, then is that the right one?
No. Is it the right one?
Yeah, I hope they're not going to kill us for copyright reasons now because I played the first... What is that? Beat? The first...
like 1/4.
A fourth, yes. Of it, but...
Okay, so I have 2 theories in my head.
Okay.
The one is there are some songs that I like that are very repetitive. Mm-hmm. And I think if I like them now...
They're not going to annoy you in 50 years.
They might not annoy me in 50 years.
I like your thinking, but you're thinking long term here.
Is that the way to go? Or should it just be something...
unique, something special.
Something
that you
very
feel like,
special.
Wow,
but it's not going to be unique. I mean, that's going to be music for me.
It's going to be unique.
It is music.
It's going to be song. That's what song is.
It's the unique.
We've invented song for song.
Okay, I think I've got it, but I forgot the name. Love Generation.
Is it
Bob Sinclair.
Bob Sinclair. That's the name that just jumped into my mind as well.
And it's very repetitive, but I can go through the whole song, listen to it in the background. It's 9 minutes long, which is also good.
It's a good thing, yeah. Mine as well. Mine is 10 minutes. It has changes.
Oh, really?
It has new sort of elements introduced as well. As all the songs that I've selected, well, both the songs have.
All of my songs.
All of my songs.
I think we'll go with Confusion and Love Generation.
Yes.
And I have to listen to your song to
I'll check yours out as well, because I've been listening to Accidentally in Love as again.
Yeah.
When we talked about it, and I really felt like it's funny because it kind of could become a really good playlist because it could relax you and then pump you up again and then relax you and then pump you up again. And I think if we keep going that way, this is going to be a very interesting list.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are gonna like it. They're probably gonna hate us for it.
Doesn't matter.
But we don't care, do we?
I mean, even if there's just one song that you haven't heard yet.
Exactly. If you can take out one element that you like as a listener, you hear it and you go like, hey, I never heard that. I like that. That's pretty cool. That's gonna be one of my new standards. We've already done our job.
We've won.
That's it. Yeah.
So if you are on Spotify right now, we are only on Spotify with the playlist. Just Apocalyst.
Now it's just you make the list, you put the songs in, but there's always both songs. There's my song and your song.
No, I'm gonna delete yours. I'm sorry.
You bastard.
It's just mine.
You little shit. No, but Dave is gonna do this right now because I don't have Spotify at the moment. Believe it or not, I still work with a club and live in a cave and
go Unga Bunga.
Yes, go Unga Bunga and go Fi.
Right. Okay.
Cool.
I think that's it for today.
How long have we been online?
With the break, it's exactly 1.5 hours.
1.5 hours even. Wow, we did overtime. If we're gonna do this twice, we can actually skip one session and have you guys waiting because we did
We'll just break it off at the break and you'll be cliffhung.
That's right. Very well, cliffhung. That's right. All right, so cool. Let's close it up then. This was David and Ellen.
Yeah, that was Ellen. This was David.
That's right. And
thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Once again.
Stick around, guys. We'll see you next time. And keep it going.
Bye.